we are back again, folks. I believe we have the issue resolved, so we are ready to jump into this match here now between the Misfits and Complexity. Starting off now on Cash for their first match tonight before they head over to Train to finish things off. So yeah, jumping back into our discussion now that we were talking about before actually.
We're rudely cut off.
Nah, we had to solve the issue, make sure I wasn't gonna go into like added fun in. But yeah, so to like finish that point off really well, it is like interesting that, especially for North American teams, it doesn't really seem like analysts are utilized at all in CSGO. But you look to other games, sort of like League of Legends, I'm not too sure on like games like Dota 1, but in League especially, it's like analysts are like a crazy thing, like almost every team seems to have. But it just doesn't really seem like it's used at all, or if it is, it's not very publicized that it's used in Counter-Strike.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's I don't know, Counter-Strike is it's such a game where there's not that many people that I think could even make super good analytical videos where like to truly understand what's going on, and then to have those people make those, you know, that type of, to give you that type of information would just cost like a lot of money. Yeah, let's be real. Like, I think it'd be a pretty big charge probably.
I think there's, as far as I think Astralis has people that kind of do that work for them, but that's like the only team I can think of off the top of my head that has like I'm not even sure on that.
I mean, and we also play a game where I would say like half of all calls are, yeah, just screw it, man. Let's just deagle them. Or like, yeah, I'm just going to kill this guy. Like, that's like half the way we win rounds in Counter-Strike, right? Like, yeah, I'm pretty sure I can just kill this guy. I'm just going to make a play, dude.
Throw the stack book out. We're just going to...
Yeah, that's like... No, that's literally like a lot of Counter-Strike. So... Well, quite a different game than League.
Yeah.
In League, I don't think you can just go around and be like, or Dota, or, you know, League or Dota, and just be like,
I'm just gonna gank this guy.
I'm just gonna kill this guy. Like, I mean, what?
It's more like I've got to farm this many creeps by this time period, and then go buy this item, be in this position. It's very well aligned, I think, in some of their plays. But
I mean, there really is a lot of like Counter-Strike. There's a lot of Counter-Strike players that are very, I would say, like deliberate with everything they do and things like that. And then there's a lot of Counter-Strike players that are some of the best players in the world, and they're just, yeah, I'm just going to do this. I'm just going to kill this guy. Like, there really is.
This doesn't make any sense. It's just like, just the crazy players that make those plays out of nowhere, seemingly.
I would say the majority of the best players are actually like, yeah, I'm just going to go out Olaf, you know, and lurk out and kill this guy or something like that. You know, like literally, that's a strat, you know. Everybody plays off of it.
Well, we do get into the pistol round finally here. The Misfits go for a deagle on it, although Shazam not having the best of luck at the start. Hit once down to 50, and now dinked, I think, through the box down to 10. So he's going to have to be very, very careful. Still going for it, though. Just can't hit anything, man. Surreal's getting away with a whole lot.
Surreal's playing it properly. If you play it properly as a CT, you're not going to die there.
Again, another attempt for Shazam to go fishing there, but doesn't catch anything. The rest of the team, though, is going to try to start making a move back over here onto the A-bomb site. Surreal having to do double duty to a certain degree and having to kind of watch out for not only this squeaky pressure from Highway, but also back over there towards mid to make sure Shazam doesn't push out with anyone else and kind of take control. He did give up overall in mid, though, but there's pressure from Misfits going all over the place. They still have, you know, 3 guys you can see in the B halls, another one in A main, and still the squeaky players sick, waiting by that doorway. So they haven't made the decision yet, but that's going to change right now with everybody shifting back over through the mid garage to retrieve the bomb and then probably shuffle into A main, maybe having like 1 or 2 players boost over top or something like that. But it seems like it's going to be a little bit more simplistic than that since they're running the timer quite low here. Shalno has a decent amount of utility, smoke, and a Molotov to get out onto this site and sort of set something up for his teammates. Sick has had this door for a while too and is pretty much spotted this. Yeah, there's nothing here. They're in the site. They're deep back over here by like quad or just on the site itself. So they should be prepared for that. And indeed they are as they move back in. But Trade still rolling out for the coL side of things. Android, Def, and Surreal each picking up kills so far to bring this back down into an even 2 versus 2. It looks like Android is probably going to have to wait a few extra seconds here as Desi's still rolling back up from the other site to get into a position, but he's pretty quick about that. Already all the way up towards Highway, and now they're going to have to waste not a whole lot of time to actually start pushing back in and looking to retake control here. Desi, first up to bat, he immediately hits his shot, and he's going to go for the second one too. It's just Demo Duvek back behind Quad, who picks up 1, but then Android is there instantly for the trade. Still plenty of time for this defuse, and we will indeed see Complexity take the lead at the start of this map.
Yeah, really important 2v2 there. That complexity plays very well. Desi just kind of creeps up towards the site. He knows the player's default, and as soon as he gets to that angle, just flies out. USPs him in the head. He's going to win that battle almost every time. But Misfits does get the bomb down, so they're probably just going to get a couple deeks, and it's going to mainly be a save, and then they'll buy next round. So we'll see if their deeks can, make some magic happen, maybe make it 4v5, and then Sean still has a smoke and a flash. Might be able to go outdoor or something, storm a site, and win the round that way.
Well, Shazam didn't have much luck in mid. Looks like Sick is going to take a crack at it this time. Peeking directly into the door.
No smoke.
Yeah, nothing being tossed at all. So Sick just has free reign. There's been no white box pressured either. So he's going to just hug the wall and creep up towards Highway. So gets that early position basically for free. Complexity don't even really try to peek back into it. Sick even spotting players on the A bomb site. So starting to get small amounts of intel here. He's got to be careful now though, as they've got dedicated players watching Highway. And just directly re-peeking into that may not be the smartest idea any longer. Surreal's getting a bit impatient. He wants that kill, and he's almost got it now, bringing him down to 5 HP. But hello from Devo Duvek as he swings out, drops Surreal. But Slummy's going to take the place of his now fallen teammate. Move back in there to retrieve the M4. Trying to pick up some additional kills on the site. Def is going to be finding them. Sean tries to sneak out a headshot against Slummy, but that's not going to work. And now in a 1v4 scenario, Devo has a position over inside, and lines up some great damage. In fact, Android accidentally kills Desi with 1 or 2 M4 bullets too much. But overall, still the round will go Complexity's way.
Does go Complexity's way, but decent eco for Misfits, getting those 2 kills. Almost, or getting that 1 kill, but they almost got 2 more. Oh, no, they did TK, so they got 2 kills. Excuse me. And they do get full AK armor buys with decent utility. Sean just going for an ump. And he has full nades, so they start out in a default with 2 towards B, and Omniac just gets an early pick onto Desi in the check room area. They have 2 B, 1 watching middle, 1 A main, and 1 door, and now we're going to see a counter boost come out from Depp. So he's going to be up here with an MP9. A lot of this is going to come down to timing. Devo Duvek goes back to kind of watch it and spot it.
Action besides that, as Def does just leap over top the boost position and drops down over here inside to take down Shazam. Taking the initiative early on, and just like that, cole's got the advantage right at the start of this one, and even being able to restrict some more of the pressure back over here by Squeaky as Def may look challenged again. For now, though, just suffice to hop back over towards Quad and NBK, hanging out of that area. Sick definitely heard this player with the SMG cross, though, so he's going to kind of go hunting for him, at least momentarily. Then back into the doorway, trying to hold it open, but Def and him are kind of waging a bit of a silent war right now. Sick is going to just basically, after opening the door, give up upon this. And Devo Duvek pushing himself up on top of the boost himself, watches out for anyone else that may still be straggling here in mid. They've since pretty much fully evacuated this, only having Slummy hold the white box position. It's running their players out besides that. Time getting low, though, so Misfits will have to make their move on a site soon. It's going to be leaning here over towards B. It's Devo Duvek able to connect the first shot in mid, and this is going to be great because it'll sell these players that are now rotating towards B back in the other direction. As a possibility of this, they're going through Z itself or just back up Highway towards the A bomb site. But that fear is going to be quickly averted back over towards it being a B hit. Unfortunately, the rotation back into that site is going to be far too slow. Sick already has taken down the site player, and Smokes have obscured vision at both Heaven and the tree room spot, so there's not really a whole lot of room for Surreal and Def to do that much. A 2v4 scenario, they're in spots to really punish extra T aggression, but Misfits are sitting in pretty safe spots right now, so nothing really going to happen with Surreal and Def, and they are just going to have to fall back and save.
Yeah, and I thought Android could have definitely had a successful site hold there. He did have the smoke that he used, but he didn't really do like any of the one-way smokes. Usually you see the smoke come between default and oranges, then you can kind of go on top of the box and maybe one way it a little bit. Instead he kind of threw the smoke just on top of default, so not able to have a site hold. Another good smoke that sometimes if you throw as a counter smoke when they throw the Molotov is throw it to the left and then play above the generator, and then if they ever go through the smoke at headshot, you just see their legs like freely and get kills that way, and a lot of people will still like run through that smoke, and then you really don't have to worry about the right. So Complexity going to get a full buy, except for Android just offshore a deagle, but he's really dangerous on that deagle. He's really good deagler. Surreal gets the op. Hump and 2 on 4s on the rest.
Yeah, again, slow openers we come to expect from Misfits now. Probably just going to be stacking up inside of A main.
I like this from Complexity though. They have Surreal opping B by himself, a player at Sandbags. Not liking that too much, but then 3 players towards A.
Yeah, but a lot of them holding close up just by the forklift there too. They've got a 2 stack by it right now. May even try to get aggressive, as we can see. It's looking like Android and Def kind of playing together there, and yeah, they did indeed send Android inside to check things out. Def's going to take the actual position inside of the locker room once they secure it safely. But beyond this, Molotov is going to burn
That's
Desi
why
out of position.
Like,
Yeah, that's...
that position there. Because if you do a main control, they're going to do mid control, and there's a very high chance that they Molotov sandbags.
Now, coL player's trying to make a move here, but Def Spray just having to go all over the place. Unfortunately, missing out on his chance for a kill when he went for the guy dropping down from boost. What's even worse, they lose another one in mid. Sick moves out from Squeaky to take A control, knocks out Slemmy in the process. And now Surreal just being dinked through the wall, adding insult to injury as Sick rolls up from the backside to take him out of the round. Now tie this up at 2-2, causing a probably full save here by Complexity as well.
Yeah, but that's why the logic just doesn't really make any sense, right? So you do an A main control, which means they're going to do a mid control. That means they're probably going to Molotov sandbags. You're kind of pushing them to take a mid control when you do that A main control as well. Unless you have people in A main to fight it, that's going to be the T's reaction more often than not, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you're kind of working against yourself there.
Well, now we do have Misfits starting to move out over here towards mid again. And probably going to be trying to swing out to take quick control too, as you can already see Devaduvek past the cubby and all the way up against the white box here. There he's going to be Surreal and another player up on top. But the thing is, Surreal's not peeked into it, so Slemmy's just left in the open. No room for a response at all either, unfortunately. So just a free pick right at the start of the round, and Slemmy's going to take up the position now of... excuse me, Surreal's going to take up the position of Slemmy. So he goes down, but then they just peek back into it again. Devaduvek picks up a second kill now. There's not a whole lot getting done in this full save round from coL. And a few moments here, we can't expect Misfits to push ahead and take the lead with essentially 0 damage done, besides that 1 kill that Desi snuck off.
Nice shots from Almanac. Do we have any knowledge about like their living situation with Devaduvek and Almanac?
No, I'm assuming like the org probably put them up in like an apartment or something like that.
Yeah, I wonder where they're located and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why that's always like interesting to me is, you know, when players get sent here, not necessarily sent here, but you know, they sign with like an org and they play here.
Yeah.
You know, what their situation is like. I feel like I would view, as we see, a 4v5 right away, 3 towards B. What is that, 1 player towards door and 1 useless?
Yeah. Steph is going to try to hold over here behind the box. Only able to trade out 1 kill overall, though, as the Misfits are still moving in. Fast control. The A players, you know, just started their rotate like 3 or 4 seconds ago. So this round's already over. At most, Destiny and Surreal are going to be posting up for exits, but Misfits just take such fast control of B, and there's nothing coL can do about that.
Yeah. I don't know if I could do it, man. Like, imagine going to Europe, being in like an apartment, maybe even by yourself or something like that, and just playing Counter-Strike like all day, every day, and you don't know like anybody, or it would be weird, man.
You'd hope at the very least they'd put them like with one of the other teammates so that...
Nah, you just lock them in a box and play Counter-Strike
in an apartment
for 18 hours a
somewhere.
day. Yeah. Make sure it's a very remote place where there's nothing else to do. You got to get efficiency out of these guys.
So yeah, Sean is still trying to swing Ray to go hunting.
What owner would you be, Blue?
What?
What kind of a team owner would you be, man? You guys would never have success.
Wait, where? You said I treat my players right, and that's what they just,
Yeah, you
just
got
get
to...
lazy?
Exactly.
All right.
Got to make them train like Rocky.
Yeah, but then...
In Rocky, have you seen Rocky 4?
Well, complexity pause, by the way. No.
Have you not seen Rocky?
I've seen Rocky 1, obviously.
Have you not seen Rocky 4?
I've seen one of the other Rockies. I forget which one it was, though. It might have been Rocky 3.
If you can't explain scene by scene of every single Rocky movie, we cannot be friends. And you're hardly a man.
Guess what I'm watching? Guess that's what I'm watching on the plane tonight, then, isn't it?
That's like just un-American to not have seen Rocky 4.
Which one is Rocky 4? Like, what's
when he battles the Russian.
Okay, no, I've seen that one.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's been a while since I've seen it, but I've definitely seen that one. Well, the unpause is coming back in, so we're getting back into the match. 4-2, in case anyone is just tuning in the favor of the Misfits. And Complexity going for another buy here, or at least trying to buy into it a little bit. Obviously, still the two rifles coming into the picture for Desi and Surreal. But for Slemmy, Android, and Def, they're going to have quite light investments for this coming round. The Misfits still armed to the teeth here. And now just moving quickly into these boost positions either. Not even hesitating on it. Android trying to hide in sandbags, picked off by Devo Duvek. And now they're going to continue forward up onto Highway, where Surreal just got flashed out. Given time to recover, though, and there's no support system for Devo there. It just kind of pushes on his own. So that's actually going to be evenly traded. Sick, though, just goes up to the doorway, swings it open, gets the kill, and closes it back shut again to give Misfits back their advantage here. And now they're kind of just going to hold back, but Six being challenged again. Thing is, though, is that Jesse had to have known he was spotted by Six, so had to have been prepared for him to fight for that. At the very least, Sick kind of over pushes into the A-bomb site, and Def's able to trade, but as a result of Misfits successfully kind of trading back a lot of these early kills, they're still going to be able to hold a pretty massive 3v1 advantage now. It's just Def is pretty much just running for his life again.
Yeah, Complexity will be able to buy in the next round, though, because they saved 2 guns from the round before, right?
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah. I wonder if, like, the Complexity players and how they play, I know this is going to sound harsh, but, like, they feed off each other's, like, bad plays, kind of, you know?
Bad habits.
Yeah, like, the bad habits, you kind of, like, feed off the bad habits of the people you're playing against and whatnot. Or playing with, right?
Yeah. That's a good point.
They all enable each other to to make bad plays.
That's actually like an interesting question based on last game of this round, but it's looking like we are into another gun round though, so it's kind of a long form question, so I'll wait until this round's over. But Misfits again setting up into another slow default here, more than likely, as they have their players again posted up. I think they've already done the boost already here too, but haven't actually gone through all the way over the top just yet. And they have player at white box again. I'm not sure if Desi was boosted up into the vents or if he's just sitting down below it. It looks like he is downstairs, so he's not going to have a position to be able to push out mid and support that, since that's been an area that Misfits have been able to take almost every single round without question so far. So that's putting a lot of pressure on Surreal to be able to hold that back off. But he does have the op this time, and they've got the double up setup going on to Def too. Misfits, though, with the time getting lower, they are going to start to line up to execute into A, and it is looking like it'll be a pretty straightforward executable, having Devo Duvek, or I believe actually Almanik, moving over mid there and trying to take control here instead to act as a bit of a late push in, restricting the highway presence, and then trying to basically just punch anyone that can survive on the site. Double molly back into quad there. It's definitely going to send Slummy into the open. Def able to respond with one pickup and a second one now as he goes back down towards mid. Knocks out Devo. Shazam picking up one, and Almanek as he finally does fully push back into mid here, but Desi still responding on his own regard from Z. He's able to knock out Almanek, brings us down to a 2v2, but again, evenly traded, and this 2v2 is definitely not favoring Complexity. Misfits had a good 10 to 15 seconds to get into post-plant scenarios. They're both in very predictable positions, though. One behind Forklift, another one from Quad, who's got double mollied out. Don't really seem to be paying too much attention to this Forklift player, though, so they just waltz right out into Shazam, and then Six able to pull out and got this last kill as well. Another gun round going by the way of Misfits as they end up going up 6-2.
Yeah, they double molly quad. The problem is they don't have anybody who could capitalize off the double molly, so it doesn't really end up doing anything. I mean, he took some molly damage, but I think any molly damage that you did to him is completely nullified by the fact that they know exactly where both of you are when you do that. Anyways, what was your question, Blue?
Oh no, I was just gonna ask. I think it was Liege at one point that tweeted out about like rank S, sort of reinforcing like bad habits on some NA players.
Yeah.
Do you think that that's like correct?
Yeah, kinda.
What's your general like take on that essentially?
Well, for me, it's one of those things where you don't get punished that much in rank S for doing things, right? Yeah. So, I mean, I could do like I could get boosted on mid every single round on T side cash with an op, and well, have like an insane success rate with it, right?
Yeah.
But to be honest, like, you could definitely punish that on CT side a majority of different ways. And so a lot of the time, you start thinking things are good to do in rank S that actually aren't in actual games, you know, where you're playing against people who have, like, crossfires where you can't just get these one-on-one battles and maybe kill, like, especially, like, rank S move-ups a lot of the time. And instead, you know, you get punished for that. So that's one of the reasons it really builds bad habits. But rank S is kind of, it is what you take from it, you know?
Yeah.
Like, you could definitely improve like a lot from rank S, but you kind of have to play
The appropriate way.
Kinda. It's like, it's not necessarily that. It's you have to understand what you can take and put into an actual game against good teams, and what you just are like, yeah, this is only going to work in rank S. It's just a rank S play, you know?
Well, extra thoughts on that. So into the next gun round we will
He's
go.
doing the spam. Oh, we almost had him.
That's like a pixel or two too high as well.
Dude, he's got to do that spam, then he spams highway, and then he spams... What else? Quad.
Yeah,
from door.
just trying to do it from the door hall. Yeah. See if we can hit that.
I'm that guy. Like, I'll learn 3 different spams. I'm like, guys, just stay alive for the next minute 25. I'll make it 4v5.
Let me hit these 3 wall bangs real quick.
Let me wall bank 3 different spots, all at different areas of the map. You guys just chill.
Shazam's going to try his luck in A main there, but doesn't really come out too well. Good news is Molotovs are no room for Desi to work with there, so he does get burned out of checkers.
That play, man. Immortals does the same thing.
And now Def, okay, Def's going to be able to move in here. Some hop moves over towards Z from Def. And it nets him another kill too against Devo, but Sick trades it back out, so they still end up in a 3v2 advantage for Misfits now.
It's a good move by Slummy to go to highway there. I mean, I know he died and it didn't pay off at all, but it's actually a good move. So he leaves A. It's a 1A, 1B. He can go to middle, maybe even it up, maybe make it a 2v2 and then go back to A. Almanac just destroys him though, but it's actually a good move.
And now Android just going to be left over on B trying to save again. So Misfits indeed taking that strong initiative. And besides the 2 rounds the Complexity were able to fight for towards the beginning of the half, that's really all they've been able to accomplish so far and have really fallen flat on almost every single gun round in this half. So Android just going to be backing away and again saving that singular rifle, but it transfers us into what will probably end up being, again, another just half-buy round for most of Complexity. So it's still not going to lead to a whole lot, as we haven't seen like single M4s just having massive impact so far in the half. But granted, again, Android doesn't really have much of a choice on the other site. A gets completely taken before he's even really aware of the full situation that's going on, so not a whole lot that he can do from back over there. Better off to just try and carry this gun in the next round and see if he can do some damage there.
Yeah, so Complexity just getting kind of destroyed here early on. I mean, Desi dying to a lot of Molotovs.
Here's the wallbang attempt again, by the way. A little bit early on that one, and just a little bit too high on the second one, it looks like.
Yeah, I don't know if you can actually aim lower, though, because it might hit the top of the red bin, right?
True. Yeah.
I'm not sure. I haven't done the wallbang yet, but...
No, I don't know. It's hard to tell from, like, swapping players. I feel like that on the map or something like that. It looks like there may be a little bit of wiggle room, but it's pretty much impossible to tell. So, again, like I said before, just for the most part, another half-buy from coL in this round, as Android is obviously going to save up the rifle, but that's really all they have. Sick, though, just gets a nice little...
This is a change in spots, by the way. Sick has always been the player, like, around middle, going out mid, going to highway and whatnot. Now he's the door player. So, very different position.
Both Sick and Almanac, who's now, I think, taken up the old spot that you were just talking about, Sick was playing before, seemed to be doing quite well, at least in this match, though, so... Sick seems to have relative success, even when he doesn't actually push outdoor, just kind of the way he plays around it and kind of distracts and gets Complexity's players to move around is really good. And then Almanac has had an amazing success rate just with his boost ups in mid, and the amount of times he's been able to get like early kills because of that, or even the late kills to isolate highway pressure as well. So now we have Misfits starting to move out. They give themselves a little bit of a mini smoke wall to get over towards vents. Slemmy's spotting this and probably going to call it. Problem is that everybody else was over on A. So all you have to defend B is going to be Desi. It's a nice shot first, tries to go for a few more through the box, but not going to be able to hit it. And now it's the slow dispatchment of everyone still alive from Complexity, which just like that is going to be only surreal in this 1v4 scenario. 9 rounds for Misfits as they continue forward, gaining even more of an advantage here.
Man. Complexity should be like a lot better than they are. Just like player-wise, they have some pretty good players, and it's just
nothing ever comes together. It seems. It just seems like I don't know. There's been like not really a whole lot of progress made overall as a team.
Oh yeah, there's zero progress.
Yeah.
In fact, they're probably worse this season than they were last season, right?
They're pretty much the same, to be honest.
Yeah.
I think they're
what was their score last season? I thought they had like 8 or 9 wins, right?
It was pretty relative. It was like in terms of a ranking though, it was pretty much the same as this. I think they were like maybe 1 or 2 positions above relegation.
They're just good enough to...
They're
Their new logo, complexity, just good enough to not get relegated. Just good enough for Pro League.
average.
Yeah. Well...
But yeah, they are going to call for a second pause here, so we end up going into it before they jump into this gun round. And again, another big buy from them, but that doesn't really mean much, as you know they've had these big buys before, and they haven't really done much with it. They've had the double op setup, which they're going to have again in this upcoming round, along with full rifles and everything. Just no impact being made, and I think like early kills are always going by the way of Misfits.
I think complexity is the best example of players that play a ton of rank S and just develop a bunch of bad habits because of it. They literally like one of the rounds they tried to win, they just like triple B push, you know?
Well, I mean, you said this before. We've had it in other games where you just straight up said after rounds where they've attempted strats, like, yeah, that was a rank S strat.
Oh yeah. I mean, no, complexity is that team. Like, Depp is literally that player who just plays rank S and sometimes just absolutely dominates, but like none of that will translate to the game because he's just taking big risks that there's no good crossfire ever being set on like the CT side and whatnot. And because of that, just dies and puts his team in a disadvantage.
We are going to be on pause now, so back into the fray. And some of the complexity players, as we did bring the scoreboard up there, you can definitely see that they are struggling, especially Surreal at this point. They got 1-9 scoreline overall. And Slemmy not far in front of that, at only 3-10 overall. Oh, there it is! Hominek gets it, and goodbye to Slemmy right at the start of the round. Another 5v4 advantage. We're just going to see people doing that all the time now.
Yeah, I know.
That's just going to
awesome
be
wall
so there we go.
I think something like that should be changed though. Like maybe just change the map so like it's not wallable.
Just make the box a little taller.
Yeah.
Well, Misfits, after getting that kill, are not going to be afraid at all to push out onto the A-bomb site. In fact, Complexity aren't even sitting on the site anymore. They've just gone into a retake setup after losing a player there. Def trying to watch out for A-main pressure. He's going to get smoked out, though, and the timing shot's way too early. So definitely not hitting on that one. Which is okay. Shazam just hops up on top of Red Box, destroys Def as well, catches him, and was rebolting the rifle. And now 5v3, potential to make it actually 5v4, but he doesn't go for the shot on the first boost up, and on the repeat, Desi already reads into that one. So trading back at least one more kill here. Now for the 4, still up and running for the Misfits, just holding on to this and mainly focusing on mid and truck. They know that most of them are passed up back there, but cole's not even attempting this. They're going back to the vents, and they're holding up in B to save again.
And Misfits, I mean, they're going to be up 10-2. Just playing great the past couple of days.
Yeah, it seems like it's all coming together pretty well here now with this new roster. So obviously,
who knew the key to having a successful NA team is having as little NA players as possible,
while still qualifying as a as an NA team, best team NA. Yeah. So we'll get a nice replay on it. Just catches Slemmy running full speed.
Who would have guessed, Blue?
The shot.
So that's the key.
I mean, technically they're still an NA team. Just can't get another European player. So then they cross into that other zone at that point. So yeah, Misfits moving out again.
That just must be exhausting when you're Complexity.
Just
every round
5v4. Now this is the second round where it's gone 5v3 too at the start. Def might just make it 5v2 if he peeks in the wrong way.
They didn't even have a chance. It's just like, for them to win the round, it just has to be a miracle, you know?
Mm-hmm.
It just sucks. It's like you're Android right now just sitting in B every round. It's like, I don't even have a chance to play the game.
Yep.
Android's their best player, by the way.
Oh, yeah, no, I agree.
He's gotten a lot better.
He's done some pretty crazy stuff just as an individual in like clutch situations. Even if you go back like last season when I think he first got brought on the team last season. But Sean trading out at least this one kill onto Android after he picks up one. That's the site cleared out.
I mean, he's B alone because it's 3v5. Gets a kill and dinks another. But if that was like a 5v5 setup, that's probably enough to win the round, right? He probably has another guy in B who gets 2 kills based off of those kills if he's like just like baiting Android. And then the rotate from heaven probably gets a kill. And it's like, it's a round over, you know? Instead, they just start 5v3 every round.
Bit of utility is going to come in from the Opera. Unfortunately, no one is there to follow up upon the Op, really, so while Sean's going to get put into the open, Cyril doesn't seem to have the confidence to want to go for this peek. If he went for it, he could actually find Sean and possibly Sick in the open, but goes for that peek and then pretty much just cancels his own ambitions, and now is going to be falling back to save. Will position himself probably towards like CT or something to punish anyone that's going to push him, but other than that, yeah, Sean just going for it, but not doing much. And actually, he might have just doomed himself because of that. They got to push through anyway, just try and keep themselves alive here, but their money's probably so good at this point that they don't even care much about it. They're going to even try to move inside, see if they can find Cyril behind the truck. They should know he's there, but there's just not enough time to push back there. And yeah, like 3 of them are at 16k right now, so they don't care if they go down. Yeah, once again, there's nothing really getting done here. You can see the start of the round, Complexity just trying to get outright aggressive at the beginning and not even hitting that either. Now Ominek going to make the attempt at this one. Nick Slummy made a nice adjustment though. It slowed down his walkout.
No, here's the next gen move.
What's the next gen
You
move?
learn the counter spam on CT side and then counter spam them.
That would be
like
next
from a
level,
spot
dude.
that they're not aimed at.
If there's some way to like shoot
Yeah.
it from the hall or something like
How next level would that be?
that, that'd be a big moment right there.
Anders, where are you at? It's like Anders sits in a server like 10 hours a day,
with a bot there.
just
doing
finding the most
graphics.
ridiculous things. This is your calling, Anders.
Well, Sick moving back in. Shazam as well, hitting the nice shot against Surreal here. And again, very similar to this trend of like the last 4 or 5 rounds now, where Misfits don't even seem to have to put a whole lot of effort into it, just walking out, taking these wild peaks like we saw from Demo Duvek right there. And while, again, the trade comes in, they have infinite pools of money, so it literally doesn't matter. And even though they got that 1 kill, it's immediately traded up by Sick. No one saves anything. There's no consequences to these deaths at all at this point in the half, and it's going into round number 15 anyway. So they'll buy it up. Complexity, of course, getting themselves another buy, but even so, it's pretty weak here, having to downgrade to a FAMAS and an UMP. Still only having 2 rounds overall for this half.
Everything Complexity tries is just so poorly executed. Misfits always has good reads. When they triple push B, they have 2 people there. When they push A main, what was there, like 3 people there? It's just, they're just getting crushed.
Literally nothing's working.
Yeah.
Basically the short way to put it. But still 1 more round to go, and maybe again Misfits would loosen up a little bit. They've remained, you know, pretty stringent though, and they've been sticking to their strats for the most part. So we haven't seen them try to do anything crazy. Like I said, it's really after they've already sort of secured the round that we see a few trades tend to come out in the favor of Complexity. But at that point in the round, it doesn't really, you know, have a huge swing effect or anything like that. They're still in pretty safe positions to close out in what would be like a 3v1 after killing 1 additional player. So now for the Misfits, just continuing to follow through with their strat. Shazam's out in mid. He's got free control here. coL's not even resisting it. They're just focusing entirely on the sights, and they've got a guy in Z to rotate either way here. Sick spots the forklift player. Actually having a little bit of trouble taking down Def, but still ends up coming out better in the duel and definitely distracts the A players, even pulls the Z guy partially up towards Truck, where in the meanwhile, the actual hit is most definitely going to the other bomb site, which means that most, again, they only have to dispatch really 2 players here. Heaven should get smoked out, so I doubt Surreal's going to be able to do a whole lot, and even so, they're going to be able to restrict that presence quite heavily. Sean Garris instantly dispatching of Destiny. Android trading out for 2, however, but Ominek also took down Surreal and Heaven before he even attempted to do anything. Now Android trying to stay alive, goes for the 3rd and he gets it. A 4th as well is a possibility for him, but caught in the reload. That's going to give Shazam more presence to push forward here, knock out Android, and now trying to secure this 2v1. 6 just going to wrap back around, find Death waiting up in Heaven, and shuts it down. They put a 13th round up on the board. Misfits just absolutely crushing Complexity in this first half, and there's not going to be a whole lot of room for a comeback. Complexity have to bring an amazing T-sider. This is going to be a quick first map. Find out, guys, which it will be in just a few moments here at the ESL Pro League.
ESL Pro League is brought to you in part by Logitech G, Pay Safeguard, Legion Lenovo, Mountain Dew League, and ESEA.
And we are back, and once more, it's been a pretty dominating opening here to one of our maps for tonight. It's going to be Misfits that hold a 13-2 lead here against Complexity, and Complexity just not really showing us anything at all here. So Misfits closes out on the pistol. Highly doubt we're going to see even any more rounds picked up by coL overall.
I mean, Complexity is like, it's like their players take turns from, you know how I was talking about earlier, they're like, yeah, let me just go out and kill this guy.
Yeah.
And they're saying that, but what's really happening is they're just dying. So it's just, let me just go out here and die and make it 3v5.
It's going out.
Like, that's literally how it is.
They've got the...
It's the opposite.
They've got the ambition to make the plays.
The ambition is there.
Just not anything else.
Yeah.
So we are live now with the second half pistol. Let's get into it.
Really, it's like each player just takes turns, like, making a big risk or something, you know?
And pretty much none of them worked out.
Yeah.
Well, they're on the T side now, so let's see if they can hold a little bit of a better record here. Starting it off with essentially just a default split. Two guys working their way over here towards A main. A few more going to fall behind, but look at how aggressive Misfits are getting right inside Shazam. Double headshot right from the start of the round. Desi, Surreal, both gone dead. He wants more. He's going to move in. This time Dink knows he's got to be careful, but still follows through with 1 HP, takes down Android, and now we're at a 5v2. One player going to try to sneak in through the halls here. It's Def, but Devo has also been fairly on point, leading the charge, especially in these mid pushes back on the last half. But now he's on the CT side. He knows Def's sitting out there, lines it up, just doesn't have the wiggle room to get out into the open far enough to find that headshot. So Def is going to come out on top here. Smoke to allow them to wrap back around. Problem is, the Sick is already waiting for them in the vents, so Def can't even push past the angle he just smoked off for. He's going to try to sneak over towards it now and line up this headshot for Sick. He gets it, so...
What's Sick doing?
It's only kind of battling this back a little bit here. Shazam also waiting in the garage if they attempt to fall back and swing the other direction. They still know they have that presence inside of Checkers, and Shazam has not seen anything go out his way just yet. Salami's definitely aware of the fact that they held full A main control and is watching the flank for this possibility.
Yeah, but the problem is he doesn't know if they boost events or not, you know? And he might get, you see how he's looking towards middle? It's because he's worried about the vents boost.
But now Almanac and Sean also trying to watch out because of the possibility of that vents boost. They're also watching out for mid presence. So Almanac is going to be holding in true. Has a lot of pressure coming his way. Flashed out. Still able to trace out one of the players, though. Do about 40 damage to him overall. Sean drops the bomb, and now Def's alone. There's only 15 seconds left. These three can kind of just post up, essentially, and let Def make the move. They know he's going to be coming from the direction. Molly just blocks off the door. Just absolutely secure. They're being really safe about this one. As Def is holding here. Def, one bullet is all you need, but they can't get it. So Shazam gets another kill, and ends up actually with a 4K. Half his kills happening at 1 HP.
Yeah, just goes A main and just destroys everyone. I'm telling you, his pistols are ridiculous.
Yeah.
And they're so steady. Like, his left to right movement is, if you had like a level, you know, is just 100% level the whole time. There's just zero, like, never goes down or up or anything like that. It's just so smooth.
Now we do have Complexity trying to boost up into mid, sort of emulating what Misfits were doing for a lot of that last half. The problem is their consistency in terms of their ability to actually hit these pressure kills has not been anywhere close to what we've seen from the Misfits here. So going for it, Def hits the shot onto Shazam, but unfortunately Shazam just takes the battle up on top of the white box, and he's a much better gun to play that out with. So he will win it with the M4, and again secures the 5v4 advantage, which could potentially turn into a 5v3 in a moment here. Desi finding himself in a bit of combat by the squeaky doorway, and Shazam actually takes down Slummy in another one as well. It's just another massive round for Shazam, up to a 3K here, as he punishes all of this pressure from coL. Android's going to kind of walk into his own death there in the halls, and now Desi's just alone in another 1v5 scenario. Nothing that can realistically be done by him besides maybe picking up a kill or two. As Almanac is trying to push back in, he's going to be able to hear that. Lines up for one, gets the second as well. So good stuff from Desi, at the very least trying to do damage, but when running away, Devoduvic just hits that last bullet to him in the back and finishes off, putting Misfits up to 15.
Impact frags.
Yeah, absolutely. As Complexity don't even have enough money to buy into anything more than upgraded pistols for what could very well end up being the final round of the map. Biggest buy they're going to have is sitting on Andrew with a Deagle armor pickup, and I believe his teammate has something similar too there. So So, and yet, as we can take a look at the scoreboard there too, Surreal still not really getting past that 1 kill at this point. 1 and 13 throughout the course of this map, so he's had a rough one. Now we do have Complexity. They're basically just going to try to all in on towards A here. Quickly pushing back up, but 6 ready for it. He's already found 1. Doesn't have actually leaping out. I don't think he realized the Def had already gotten onto the site. So at the very least, they should be able to secure a plant here, as Misfits are just going to take a moment to form up, but this plant means literally nothing if they cannot follow through and win this out. So this is it. This is their Alamo, and they'll have to try and hold it here. Now Shazam gets himself behind Toxic first off. Tries to check to the open portion of the site. Looking for this one. 2 more in A main as well, but they're going to get smoked back out. Molly behind Fork. Shazam has already got back over half the site under his control here. And in swinging in, he finds Desi. Looking for the site players. Not going to be able to find him. Surreal does get out into the open to be able to find Sean. And Def holds from the safe corner too. But everyone is knocked out. And just like that, it's Misfits taking fast control here to close out their first map of the evening. 16-2 is going to end up being the final scoreline.
A lot to analyze here.
Yeah.
I think Vendetta has his work cut out for him.
Yeah, but overall, just Misfits crushing it there, and Complexity trying everything, and essentially nothing working.
I mean, Complexity is, if rank S was in SCA Pro League, to be honest. That's what it is.
All right, well.
This is why real quick, I don't understand, like, I don't know how you could be, like, hyped about Slimmy, to be honest. Because every time we watch him play, like, we don't see anything strategic. Like, going back to every team post-Selfless, I would say. Just, there's, like, no strategy.
Well, as you can see, we are going to bring the analysts into the conversation now and see if they have anything to add here. What's up, guys?
We've got a plethora of notes.
When I'm looking at this, it's a lot to go over. I don't know if we have enough time.
Yeah, it's actually a bit of a problem. Luxury problem, though, unlike what Complexity find themselves in as of right now. And, just kind of lead or follow up on that point, Dave's made about Slimmy. I think it's not necessarily that he's going to bring new strategy. I just think it's a way of giving them directions. But to be fair, ever since he joined the team, we've only seen improvements on the T side of Complexity. Their CT sides on most maps have been pretty shaky, and obviously this was no exception.
Absolutely. I mean, that's the one thing that Slimmy is able to bring to the table is saying, hey, we have this clear end-all goal at the end of each round. These are the smokes we need set up. You're in charge of this. You need to do this. Yeah, like that's the in-game leader's role, right?
Exactly. That's kind of what he's doing. And I don't think we yes, a better in-game leader would be able to obviously apply that on the CT side as well to a much bigger extent. But honestly, I think a lot of the issues with the Complexity on this is that they just don't match up well enough. Like they're not good enough players as is. You can tell it's not like Misfits are doing anything remarkably new in terms of how they're setting up for their A takes, how they're setting up for their mid control, or how they're approaching B, for instance, with that with standard mollies for checkers and so on. Nothing really new out of Misfits there, but they're still able to be successful with it because every time they take a duel or every time Complexity decides to charge in on them, they have a better plan set up for how to counter that. Even if it's them ending up with 2 players, so they can always have the trade. They're never going to be at a disadvantageous position, whereas Complexity are kind of just hopping out, hoping to make a play and just leave it at that, and there's no real more afterthought to it than that.
Well, we most definitely have a Misfits on our hands that's a feel-good match for them. They're able to walk away from that. Hey,
it's Complexity's map too.
Bodied Complexity and it feels all great and wonderful. They still have one more match, and like I said, they're not out of the playoff contention, so it's still in the realm of possibility. But it's a long road for them to get there.
It's a long road, but obviously this is a great step, right? At least at this point, you're making sure that you're closing out games, unlike what we saw versus Renegades yesterday, where this could have been an instance where Misfits start taking it as for granted. Already won, don't need to close it out immediately. But you want to make sure that you have the best round difference possible. Just any sort of freak scenario where that comes into play, and just playing as well as possible, just closing out opponents you should close out early out on immediately.
Our next and final map of the night is going to be Train between Misfits and Complexity. And actually, we're going to cut it to a quick commercial break before we get right into that because, you know what? That's just a lot of Counter-Strike to handle. We'll be right back after this. Don't go anywhere.